1045, the team, you're home for the World Series, and now we go out to Cleveland. We talk to our boy Justin Lada. Now, Justin, I would give your list of credentials, but it would take up the entire interview, so we'll get to that in a second. First, as a diehard Cleveland fan, an Indians fan, what did the win mean to you that got you to the World Series?
I mean, it took 19 years. I remember telling my dad when I was 8 years old, we had seen World Series in 2 of the last 3 years, 95 and 97. So I just assumed when they lost in 97 that, they'd be back. I told my dad, I said, they'll be back. It won't take that long. And it took 19 years. So I was able to tell my dad that, hey, we finally made it back. It took 19 years, but say what, the season has been more than worth the wait.
5-game, they take down the Toronto Blue Jays. Why were the Indians so successful in that ALCS?
Give a lot. I mean, the guys had to execute, but give a lot of credit to the advanced scouts. Those guys this time of year are kind of the unsung heroes. I mean, players got to go out in the field and they got to, make the game plan work. But there are advanced scouts who are at every stadium all season long. While the Indians were playing Boston and trying to win that series, they had guys out in Toronto and Texas in the first round trying to figure out how, if they advance, how do they beat Toronto? And the advanced scouts came back and were able to tell them, hey, these guys don't hit breaking balls well. Your bullpen's better than theirs. They told them what their starting pitchers were going to do, and you can run on them. Russell Martin is not a great defensive catcher. Their pitchers are not great at holding runners on, and the game plan worked. They threw a lot of curveballs. You saw Corey Kluber and Josh Tomlin throw just a ton of curveballs. Ryan Merritt, who nobody knew outside of Cleveland, or most of Cleveland didn't know until last week, it has a great curveball. It doesn't throw above 88. Slow stuff kills the Jays, and it killed them that series. So everything they planned on, it worked. They had to execute it, but advanced scouting, man. If you have good advanced scouts, you can win any series.
1045, the team. We've got our buddy Justin Lada from Burning River Baseball, Lake County News Herald as well. And so I got to ask this. We've been crushing Trevor Bauer. We call him Drone Boy on the show. Does he get as much abuse in Cleveland as he's getting around the country right now for playing with a drone and not being able to contribute?
It's 50-50. There are a lot of people in the city who enjoy Trevor Bauer, and I'm one of them. I think Trevor Bauer is really refreshing. I think he's the kind of athlete that everybody wants, but now that he's kind of here, everyone's not ready for him because Twitter is great because it's transparent. Guys can tweet whatever they want. He's not afraid to go after people who want to antagonize him on Twitter, and if that's Blue Jays fans, if that's Indians fans who are mad at the drone, he's not afraid to go after him. I would say it's 50-50, though. There's a lot of people in this corner. I'm one of them. I think that could have happened to anybody. It's not like that was the first time he had done that with a drone. That could have happened in June. It could have happened in April. It could have happened next month. It happened at a very unfortunate time. So I'm not going to blame him for it because a lot of people like to sew or knit or cook as a hobby, and it's just as easy to cut yourself doing those things, as what happened there. So I'm not mad at him. And I think a lot of people aren't. There are people that are a little irrational, I think, that just want to still live in the woe is me Cleveland mentality that we should have all lost after the Cavs won. But yeah, I would say it's probably 50-50 at this point.
Justin, I mean, it's just too much fun though to go on the air and be like, guys, I'm not going to be available this evening because my drone needed some maintenance and it backfired.
I mean, it's really the most improbable thing you could have ever heard of. I mean, the Indians had so many things not go their way this year. I mean, injury-wise, and you just think that having a drone take out your Game 4 starter, or it was Game 3, sorry, would just be really, really improbable, and then it just happens. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You cannot write those kind of things.
The only thing that may be more improbable is if Wild Thing Rick Vaughn had come out of the bullpen and thrown in the ALCS. There was talk that he made Charlie Sheen come out and throw the first pitch in the World Series, but now it's Kenny Lofton. What would you have liked to see, Wild Thing or Kenny Lofton?
If I had to choose between the two, it's definitely Kenny Lofton. I mean, I think Charlie Sheen's history kind of speaks for itself, things he's been accused of away from the big screen. I know everybody likes Rick Vaughn, but unfortunately you don't get Rick Vaughn without Charlie Sheen, and I think you're going to see a lot of negativity towards the Indians logo, which we don't have to get into. If you guys want to, we can. But I think you're going to see a lot of focus on that during the series nationally, just because it's a big topic. I don't think they needed to add Charlie Sheen's rap sheet to that. So Kenny Lofton was a good pick. I would have liked to have seen It probably wasn't possible because of his health, but Rocky Colavito, I think a lot of people over the years associate the Indians' curse with trading Rocky Colavito. Unfortunately, Rocky is not in great health, so I don't think that was possible. Eddie Robinson, who is the last living member of the 1948 championship team, is still in good health from what I know. I don't know if he was given the chance. I know Fox and MLB had to approve it. But that would have been my pick with Eddie Robinson, who, like I said, is the only living member of the 1948 championship team.
Justin Lada, he's our guy when we talk Cleveland Indians baseball, Burning River baseball. Lake County News Herald is where he imparts his knowledge. You talked about advanced scouting, Justin. What's the key to upsetting the Cubbies?
Man, they don't have any weaknesses, it doesn't seem like. Obviously, John Lester's throwing problems. I don't think you need to have an advanced scout tell you that John Lester doesn't control the run game while he's afraid to throw to first, even on a bunt. And the Indians were the second best base running team in baseball this year behind the Brewers, who had a ton of success running on the Cubs this year. So I would expect in Game 1 you might see some bunts, force John Lester to face these issues and hope he throws one into the right field stands. I would expect they're going to steal a lot of bases. Rajai Davis, who I don't think even has a hit in the postseason, if they can get him on base, that's a huge key because that guy led the league in stolen bases at the age of 35. If they get him on base anyway, I would expect he's going to take off on first movement. So that's the key to Game 1 at the least. I don't know how you get that lineup. I think you just got to really execute and get him to hit on the ground because ground balls can't go for home runs. So if you keep it on the ground, you give yourself a chance. They're going to have Kyle Schwarber DH. He's got 4 at-bats against live pitching since coming back from that injury. I don't know if that's a good idea for the Cubs to come away with doing in 2 games or 4 games in Cleveland, but they're going to try to do it probably, and you can't let that guy beat you. And like I said, he's got 4 rehab at-bats.
Yeah, let's talk more about Schwarber. He makes that return here in the World Series roster. Do you think he can have any type of impact against these Indians pitchers?
Yeah, all you got to do is get one good swing, and it could change the entire complexion. If he hits a 1 home run, that could really change the entire World Series. We're in a situation where it's 7 games. You only got to win 4 of them, and anything random can happen that can change the outcome of the entire series. So all he's got to do is take 1 good swing. So absolutely, he is that good of a hitter, and he made his debut as a DH against the Indians last June. I don't know if he can because he's faced live pitchers 4 times. That's really difficult. Roberto Perez, who was the Indians' backup catcher, now is the starting catcher because of Yan Gomes' injury. When Gomes went down with separated shoulder in July, Roberto Perez had 3 games back against live pitching, so that was 8 at-bats, and he never got a foothold at the plate. He kind of turned it around at the end of the year. He's still not a great hitter, but we saw what kind of negative impact that had on him offensively, not having a whole lot of rehab time. So I wouldn't be surprised if Schwarber has similar issues, even though he's a ridiculously good hitter.
Justin Lada, he is the Cleveland Indians insider that we go to because his passion, his love for the team. He's on Burning River Baseball, Lake County News Herald. Justin, predict the series.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. I've written a preview to every series this postseason for the Indians. I've avoided prediction at all in both of my playoff stories, saying I'm not going to predict it because I'm just going to predict the series is going to be fun. I guess if I had to make a prediction, I'll probably sound like a homer. I'll go Indians in 7. I'll say home field's the factor. They can use Corey Kluber in Game 7. They can have Andrew Miller throw 60 pitches in Game 7 if they need to because there's no tomorrow. So I will say the Indians win in 7 and my heart explodes just even getting to that point.
Well, we look forward to calling you and shaking you from your hangover if that happens. I'm kind of rooting for you. Going into this, I was all Cubbies because of the drought, but just this Indians team and how much fun they are, I think I'm rooting for the Indians.
If you guys are able to get a hold of me after Game 7, win or lose, I'll be surprised, man. If they get to a Game 7, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to work that day or stand in the anticipation.
Justin, we had your buddy Alex Hooper on the day after the Caps won. He's joining us tomorrow, and Hoop on that morning was like, hello, guys. So we have a feeling if the Indians win, you might be the similar way. We'll call you in early November.
Yeah, I actually called me the day of Game 7 just to make sure I'm still alive. Put it that way.
Justin Lada, man, he is our Indians insider, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.